Guys, keep it going for Charlie. He's doing a great job. I gave over the reins and he's been killing it. Hello, my name is Gabe. I've hosted all these other shows. It's really exciting to be up here performing, finally. I'm 22 years old, which is not a huge deal. Nobody gives a shit. We all know that's Taylor Swift's age, so it's not mine. But it's a big deal to me, because when I was 19, I was in the emergency room twice, like basically back to back for shockingly similar reasons. I didn't think I was gonna make it to 22. The first time, it's because I thought I was shitting blood. Turns out, hemorrhoids, and maybe anxiety, which is fair. The second time though, it was about a month and a half later, I was actually pissing blood. Now, I Googled dick hemorrhoids. They don't exist. So I was like, justifiably, this is an emergency. Now the problem with emergency rooms, and nobody's talking about this, the problem with the ER is that it does not matter how bad of a situation you think you have, they've seen worse, and they're gonna make you feel bad about it. Like, I walked in there, I was so confident. I went straight to triage, I was like, excuse me, I would like to see a doctor, please. There's an excessive amount of blood in my urine. And the nurse went, excessive? How much? Which threw me. I mean, if I were to ask you, for example, how much blood is an excessive amount of blood to be in your urine? Any is the, yes, that's what I thought was the correct answer as well. Apparently I was wrong. So I was like, well, all of it is dark red and cloudy. And she said, anything else? You needed more? I just told you I got my first period. I thought that'd be cause enough for concern. And she goes, well, did you experience any pain? And like, no, actually, which was weird. But it did happen into a urinal in the first floor Trottier bathroom. And there were 5 other guys in there. And when I went to flush, it didn't drain. So while technically, no, there wasn't any physical pain, emotionally, yeah, lots. She wasn't moved. I didn't see a doctor in the ER that day. Instead, they sent me to another hospital 40 minutes away. And when I got there, the first thing they did was say, hey, we need to take a urine sample. Sure. And then they walked me over to a bathroom in the middle of the waiting room and hand me a transparent plastic cup, which is the medical equivalent of getting up on stage and telling a room full of strangers that your pee is the wrong primary color. Only worse, because this is free. I had to pay them. Anyway, eventually I get to see a doctor. He asked me to take off my underwear. He starts diddling my balls a little bit. They asked us to leave the waiting room, which was fair. And he starts asking me questions, right? He's trying to get to the bottom of this. He's like, well, you know, could it be kidney stones? And I was like, no, doctor, there wasn't any pain. And I drink a lot of water. He goes, well, could it be UTI? And I said, no, doctor, there wasn't any pain. And I drink a lot of water. And he said, well, could it be an STI? And I said, no, doctor, I've never had sex. Which is not what he asked. And I don't know that I can quite describe the feeling of watching your doctor experience pain during your checkup. As he realizes that this is probably the most action I've ever gotten. He doesn't know what's wrong with me, so he sends me to get an ultrasound. Now, obviously, I've just had my first period, and as we all know, I was a virgin. So while I may be pregnant now, I was definitely not pregnant then, so they sent me for an MRI. The tests for that come back inconclusive, and so they do one more. They sent me for something called a LASIK exam, which I was disappointed to find out does absolutely fuck all for your vision. And it happens in a section of the hospital called the Nuclear Medicine Department, which is fucking terrifying. So anyway, what happens is, if you're not familiar with the LASIK exam, because nobody is, basically Dr. Oppenheimer comes in and they inject you with a bunch of stuff that makes you want to pee so bad your penis explodes, and that's how they test your kidneys or something. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, I had to pee real bad. Anyway, a few months later, I have an appointment booked with my urologist to go over like the follow-up results for all of this. And a couple of days before that appointment, it's October 24th, the appointment is on October 26th. In the morning of October 24th, I get an email from the hospital with an intake questionnaire. Standard procedure, right? I click on the link, and it takes me to a website called cancerhealth.ontario.ca. To a portal called Isaac that asks you to fill in the symptoms for the cancer you already have so that they can design a treatment plan. 2 days later, I get a call from the urologist. And he goes, hey man, I looked at your results. Everything looks good. You should be totally fine for the next 20 years. So just drink a lot of water, and I hope this doesn't happen again. All right, bye. And I was like, no, hang on, motherfucker. You told me I had cancer. This can't be how we're telling people. It'd be like going to, finding out your mom was dead because you got a call from the funeral home, right? Like, that's not how this works. And he goes, what? What? Oh, no, that wasn't me. It must have been a bug in the system. Anyway, see ya. Hangs me on. So now on my resume, it says world record holder, the fastest time ever to beat cancer, 48 hours. And if any of my employers question it, I just go, what? Oh, no, that wasn't me. Must have been a bug in the system. Thank you so much. You guys have been incredible.